Hi, I'm Kaydence Kindle, and this is my comeback story. Throughout childhood, I was playing every single sport that I could get my hands on. I was playing baseball, softball, soccer, like football, all those things, and just being able to play all those sports and get my hands on everything and just being pushed to be a better player in person, like that was very pivotal in my life. And like playing football, it was tough. We were doing the shell drill, and I was completely fine up to that point. And shell drill that you do almost every practice, just came down wrong, no contact, just fell.
Like screeching screams like from the other end of the court. And, like just as a parent, you know when it's your kid. And I just knew it was her screams. And so I literally like ran like up the sideline to get to her. And, obviously she was pretty hysterical because, she was in so much pain. But I will never forget that day for the rest of my life.
Just lots of pain. The only thing that I could get out, like say, was just, I want to play. Like through tears, through my screaming, like that's all I could say for a solid 10 minutes. Just knew that it was going to be bad. I knew that, not necessarily that I was never going to play again, but I just knew that it was going to be a really long time before I got the opportunity to play again.
When I received the call, my heart sank. That was my superwoman. Like she battled so many things with football and stuff, and to have her go down with this type of injury, it was just heart-wrenching.
So in the room with Dr. Roman, he was giving us the news. Like I almost started to cry. Like I almost started to get emotional because like it was just hard. I've never had that serious of an injury, and the timeline for that injury and just the process of going from injured to healthy again, which I just knew it was going to be really hard. And the day of surgery, I was just really nervous, like anxious, because again, I've never had an injury like that to where I've had to have such like an invasive surgery.
With any injury, especially if you're going to have a longer road to recovery, I think it's, very important that you have the right system in place. And for us, that started with her orthopedic surgeon and with her physical therapist. We were adamant about making sure that she had the right team in place to get her back that was focused on her mental and her physical well-being. But then aside from that, she had a strength trainer that is also one of her teachers here at school, and that's Tyler Franklin. He was a huge support system from her, checking in on her daily, coming to visit her after she had surgery, making sure that she still felt a part of her advanced PE class and was able to do stuff within the class, even if she couldn't do stuff with that leg that was injured. She still did a lot of upper body. Her basketball coach, her head basketball coach, was very involved in her process as we were starting the season, making sure that, she was able to continue growing her game just in a different way, with her basketball IQ and being able to be like his eyes and ears and see from a behind the scenes side as far as like film and those kinds of things to learn in different ways.
My first day of therapy, I was actually really hopeful because I had a really great friend, Taylor Lowe, who just told me everything I needed to know, prepared me that like Corey and renewed performance were going to be really great for me. And I was really hopeful. Just walking into that environment, it was great. Corey was really sweet. The whole staff was really sweet. And just throughout that whole process, they grew to be my family. So throughout this physical therapy, I always had a ball in my hands. Corey was very adamant that I always had a ball in my hands whenever I could. And just having milestones that I worked towards until I got those milestones, I wouldn't move on to the next phase. And that was really important for me because I'm the type of player I want to get back. I want to play the sport I love again as soon as possible. But Corey taught me really good pacing and just patience. And throughout that whole time, like I had milestones, I had days where I could go run and go shoot and just dribble around and do all that stuff in my physical therapy. And other days, like good and bad days, Corey would always like pick up on it if I had a bad day. And he would like just tell as soon as I walked in, or like if something was wrong with my leg as soon as I walked in. He would just ask me. Some days were really emotional, lots of crying, lots of actual therapy instead of just physical therapy. And he was really great at targeting the mind, the spirit, and the surgical leg and the non-surgical leg. And that's something that I really loved about renewed performance. Before I even had surgery, I was really adamant about sitting in a chair, sitting outside, getting shots up. I always had mom, dad, friends rebound for me. in the gym, whenever we had open gyms, whenever I couldn't do those things, I was always sitting in a chair. And then later in my progression through physical therapy, I was always outside as much as I could, just to be able to feel the feeling that I felt before I was even injured and just be able to live through the sport that I loved.
So obviously, there's phases to, your physical therapy and your rehab journey. And so Corey was very good about, like you couldn't advance to the next step until you, were able to do X, Y, Z. So whether that was, jogging or running or jumping or, whatever that next thing was, you had to be able to do something first. So about 3 months post-op, she got the green light to jump at physical therapy. And I had taken her that day, and I will never forget the smile on her face whenever, Corey told her she was about to jump for the first time, because she thought he was kidding. And so it was like with assistance, like he had like a band, and so he was holding it, and like she was jumping out like laterally. But that was just such a big moment for her. But then that same week, she also got baptized. And so I just remember that being such a big week for her. Like she was emotional, but she was happy. And it was just, a really proud moment.
I've been playing up since a 7th grader on the varsity level, but this year was my first year to actually play a full varsity season. My freshman year got cut early before I could even step on the court for the first time. So being able to step on the court as a sophomore was so empowering, and it was really emotional, like going through the lineup line and just being able to see all the people in the crowd, just being able to live through the Murray Tiger spirit and just be able to play the sport that I loved with the team that got me here first. It was really great. So like throughout my mom's high school career, she was the All-A Region 1 champ, 4 years of high school, and just her scoring everything that I've already surpassed that, and my parents are so glad that I have surpassed them, because they wanted me to do better than they have. And just building on that, I just know that I'm gonna accomplish great things at Murray High School. Don't know what it is yet, but I know I will get there. The goal is to have a D1 offer and to play D1 basketball.
Any parent that has a child that has this injury, they just need to give them space to kind of deal with it and process it first. Give them that leeway so they can kind of work things out themselves before you kind of be the helicopter parent and just rush in and try to save the day, because they need that time to process and kind of figure it out for themselves. You be their support system, and then take the next step to see what it looks like to get back. And if you're religious, keep that involved so it'll help build them and give them encouragement that they can overcome, because it could set you back and mess up your whole life.
Just knowing that your calling is so much greater than your circumstance, that no matter what trial or tribulation you're going through, that God has conquered it all. Whatever emotion you're feeling, that He has conquered it at the cross, and just walking in faith and knowing that it's not over, that He will push you to be the best person. He'll push you to be the best athlete if that's in His plan for you. And just Romans 8:18, just knowing that the pain that you face now cannot compare to the joy that is coming. And just being able to hold your peace and hold your worth, and just knowing the gospel and that He has a way, that He is a way maker for you.